I was just talking for like a good 2 to 3 minutes, not even noticing that I wasn't even recording. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get right into it. You are listening to the St. Michael Show. It's crazy because if you've been listening to me before this, you can still hear me preparing to say um, you were listening to this Solomon Stardust Spiritual Podcast, but that time has came and went. We are in a new energy. We are in Saint Michael energy, which is a protective energy, which is a fighter, um, somebody who God gave the task of keeping the kingdom pure and safe from any of the negative powers that be. And when you are a person, well, I ain't gonna say a person. When you are an entity as powerful and as what's the word I'm looking for? Absolute, like the kingdom of the Lord. You know that envy is gonna come with that, right? Jealousy, anything that you can ever think of when you are a part of something like the kingdom of the Lord, right? And one of the quotes that kind of stuck with me from a couple years ago that always kept me grounded is when you are favored by God, you have to also know that you are favored by the devil as well. So as you ask for whatever it is you ask for from the universe, also ask for the discernment to know the difference between what the devil has in store for you and what God has in store for you. The thing is, it's really not hard to tell, but if you are not a child of God, it kind of makes it hard. The lines get blurred because just because you are being blessed does not mean that those blessings come from God, because the devil can bless you as well. And you don't want to be in the devil's playground too long, because he is a master manipulator. He's a shapeshifter. Um, he can be pretty much whatever he wants. I mean, I'm sure y'all seen the movie Sinners. Um, in that movie, he took shape of a person and almost ran the whole the whole entire group of people into the ground. Like, that's how powerful the devil can be when you are not close to the word of God. I had something said to me by a coworker today that made me really think, and he was like, he said something like, "An idle mind is the devil's playground," and there are no truer words spoken, just because I know how it is. Like, you could be doing your normal routine, like how you do every day. You praising, you being appreciative, you showing love, you doing all of these things, right? But in a time where you don't really got nothing to do, you don't got nothing going on, and you're not pouring into yourself, or you're not resting, or you're not planning, or you're not um, just making sure that you don't have too much idle time. So that's why I have chosen to pick up the volume at which I record. Because if you were listening to the show a few years ago, I literally probably used to record once a week or 2 times a month, which that's not enough. That's not. I felt like I thought I was doing it right back then. I thought that, I'm doing God's work. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. That's it. That's all I got to do. But I soon realized that time that I was not doing God's work, I was doing everything else. I was doing everything else. Let me take out these glasses. It was the reason why I won. But I don't know if I want to share that, because I don't want to come off as I'm starting to feel myself. Though I know who I am and I know what I'm here to do, I never want to come off boastful. Um, but I'm just going ahead and say the reason why I wore the sunglasses to start. It was kind of like a nod to something my former boss said to me a couple weeks um, before I transferred over into my new position in social services. I used to wear my sunglasses to work in the mornings when I leave work. I mean, you got to protect your eyes, right? Because the eyes are the windows to the soul. That's the main reason I wear sunglasses, because not everybody deserves to look into your spirit. Not everybody deserves that. That is a sanctuary. Your spirit is a sanctuary for you, and what you allow into that unified field. Um, but yeah, that was the gist of the sunglasses. She had said something to me along the lines of your future must be really bright. Your future must be really bright. And I hold that near and dear to my heart for the simple reason I do believe my future is bright. I believe that everything, all of the things that I have thought about and I sought after in life, I was able to obtain. Anything, and I know this for a fact because I've seen it, I've witnessed it. Anything in life that I have wanted fiercely, I've obtained. If you know me, I've worked pretty much every single job there is to work. I've been in a warehouse. I've been a pawnbroker. I worked at a jewelry store. It was a jewelry store slash pawn shop, which was really cool. I looked at. It's crazy because before I started working there, I didn't even know about Queen City Jewelry. One day I was at I think I was at the lounge, and I had looked over at the building, and I hadn't even walked in the building or nothing. And I'm like, that's a jewelry store. I wonder what it would be like to work there. I want to work there. And I shit you not, 2 weeks later, I seen the application on Indeed. I applied, and if you know AJ, the jeweler at Queen City Jewelry, he one of the coolest jewelers to me in the city just because he's a real person outside of that. Like he's seen that I was going through stuff, child support, all of that stuff. He was like, all right, cool, don't even worry about it. I'll pay you under the table. You know what I mean? Any type of accommodations or whatever, he always y'all can't help me with the stuff that I got going on. I know you can't. First off, because it's not your responsibility. And second off, God made this life for me. The trials, the tribulations, the ups, the downs, the goods, the bad, he made it strictly for me so I can have the willpower and the character to handle when things go bad and to handle and still love when things are good. Don't forget when you get to where you said you was going, where you seen yourself going, don't forget how you got there because I guarantee you didn't get there by yourself. And if you're intelligent, you didn't lean on your own understanding. You had to take some type of instruction from somewhere. So nobody is bigger than the program. Nobody is bigger than the program. I don't care who you think you are. Every knee shall bow. At some point in your life, you're going to need some help. You're going to have to call on the Lord. At some point. I know it. I call on the Lord every day. I call on the Lord when it's good. I call on the Lord when it's bad. Whatever. I'm there because I know I didn't get this far. I didn't get where I'm at in my life by myself. I done been in 3 shootouts. I done had my house shot up with everybody inside. I'm right now, I'm in the fire. I'm literally in the fire. You know how when they threw who was that? Who was that? Daniel in the pit with the lions? That's me right now. I'm in the pit with the lions. But the difference between me and Daniel is the faith that I have. It's unworldly. You have to have unwavering, unworldly faith in the God you serve. Because if you just trust with what you see or what you hear, I guarantee you, you will fail. Because what you see and what you hear is just that, what you see and what you hear. That's not even a percentage of the capability of what God can do. Because when I say I know that God is real, I'm technically not supposed to be. I got shot, right? But I don't have any bullet holes, nothing. If I could explain to you what happened, I would, but I can't. I cannot. That's how I know that God is real because I'm a physical being. I'm a spirit, but I'm a physical being. There is no way that a bullet can penetrate a wall, end up in your pocket, but you have no holes in your body. There's no explanation. There is no explanation. You cannot give me one. That was probably the scariest moment in my life, but even in that moment, I knew everything was okay. As crazy as that sounds, St. Patrick's Day was at 2020. I remember that day for the rest of my life. I still hate St. Patrick's Day to this day for that. Still hate St. Patrick's Day. But I didn't let that make me bitter. The person who started the whole thing and initiated the whole house getting shot up. It's a long story, but I don't even want to get into all of that because that's not why I'm here. I'm here to tell y'all that the God that I serve is worth all the praise. He's worth every bended and bowed knee because without his mercy, without his provisions, a lot of people would not be here to talk about or do the things that they are doing now. I know people that have changed their life completely. At work today, a neighbor came in and told me that this young dude was facing 50 years. He had every drug on him you can name, guns, everything. And when I say, you wouldn't even be able to look at this man today and tell that he ever dealt with the streets. That is the work of God. That is how I know he is real. He is omnipresent at all times. So if ever a moment of weakness that you feel that you need salvation, You just have to be willing to go inside of yourself because God is in all of us. God is thought. Truly, He is thought. I said that years ago. I said that many, many years ago. God is thought. When people say, is a person, is it he, is it her? He is literally thought. Because humans do not have the capability to give. Because truly, truly, at our base, we are animals. That's the truth. We are animals. But the spirit of the living God allows us to be what we are today. It allows us to show love. It allows us to show compassion. It allows us to understand that it's not just us. Because this thing that I read in this book called Becoming Supernatural, it says when you are stressed, when you are upset, when you are any of these things that aren't love, appreciation, and gratitude, you are weakening your immune system. You're taking that cheat shit off your body that's blocking all of the evil powers that be. When you are not in love, appreciation, and gratitude, you're automatically opening doors up for a whirlwind of shit. Just because you are not in your base vibration of love, gratitude, and appreciation. These emotions right here invoke the spirit of the living God and allow you to be protected from everything. Nobody's gonna tell you this though. They're gonna tell you that you need medicine, you need all this, you need this, and no. You gotta stop stressing. That cortisol release is keeping you in fight or flight mode. I'm in the most stressful times of my life, and I'm happy. Why? Because I trust the Lord. There's no way I should be happy right now. If y'all knew all the stuff that I'm facing, the stuff that I'm going through, me to be as chipper as I am, you would think I'm crazy. You would think I'm batshit crazy if you knew all the stuff that I'm going through. I'm still willing to help people, do giveaways, and still be the hands and feet of Christ. But call me crazy, but I know God's gonna get me through this one as well. I know He will. He never left me or forsake me, even though times I left myself. There's times I real live put myself in situations I know damn well I should never be in. But I made it through because of God's love. He never took His hand off of me, even when I did dabble in the streets, which was very ignorant of me because, quite frankly, the type of person I am, I ain't never had to touch the streets ever at all. If you know me, you know I've been making money since I was a young boy. My first job was 13 years old. I made my first 20,000 at 21. So money never been a problem with me. I never had money problems until I start leaning on my own understanding. So if I can leave you guys with anything, no matter what it looks like right now, I do not care. Call on the Lord. He will answer your prayers. It may not be when you want Him to, but I know for certain you gotta leave whatever it is that you have at His feet. And I guarantee it'll work itself out.